the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce presents the Bowie Business Journal, a program designed to keep our community informed about important business and economic issues.
Welcome to the Bowie Business Journal. I'm your host, Pauline Markward, Executive Director with the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce. Today, my guest is Brad Hyland with the American Voice Power. Brad, what is your tagline?
The most versatile voice on the East Coast.
Gosh, how did you get that?
My daughter made it up.
Did she?
Yeah.
How old was she when she did this?
30.
Okay. So then you've earned it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Where are you from?
I was born and raised in Philadelphia, and in 1984 moved here for my first career as a landscape guy and eventually in management. So yeah, we bought a home in Mitchellville, Bowie, Mitchellville, and been here for, it feels like forever.
Yeah. Do you feel like a local?
I do. I do. I mean, I still can't drive through Bowie and know if I'm in the S or the K or whatever the whole section things just really screw me up. So I have to use somebody else to tell me where to go.
That's how we can tell whether you're local or not.
Oh, okay.
When we grow up here, we say, "Oh, what section are you from?" And they look at us and go, "Section," and then we know.
I might say a section where there isn't a letter for it.
Yes.
There's no X section.
At least not yet.
Okay.
What exactly do you do? American Voice Power. What is
I
that?
am a freelance voiceover actor, artist. Voiceover is anything that you hear a voice that's telling you, marketing, teaching, training, anything at all, whether it's radio, TV, or internet, or in a museum, or anywhere there's a voice, a recorded voice, that's what I do.
Okay, so you went from landscaping, and I hear no Philly in your voice, so
Oh,
that's
no,
pretty amazing.
I try to leave that out of there, you know.
Okay, so so landscaping to voice acting.
Yeah,
how do you make that transition, or
People
were
always
you
say,
always?
what the heck? No, I was kind of always the funny guy, and I started doing stand-up comedy in college, and I did voices and always was making people laugh. And somebody said, "Oh, you should do voiceover." And I was like, "What the hell is voiceover?" Or, sorry. And I researched it, got a bunch of training at the time, and I was ready to do it, and I just couldn't do it with my full-time career too. So I tabled it, and then in 2015, I just decided I was going to go for my dream, and that's what I've been doing since then.
So you're always the funny guy. Did you need toys growing up, or were you always just in your head? And
I was kind of the outside cutting down trees and making bows and arrows and tree forts and fishing, and that's how I spent my time.
Did the fish have sound effects?
Oh yeah, every fish.
Oh, okay. Exactly. So do you still love the stand-up comedy, or do you miss that at all?
I still do it. It's just a grind. The whole stand-up world is open mic, and when you do it, it's at horrible hours on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever, and it's just a super grind. So when I get the urge, I get plugged in, and I'll do it for a few months, and I love it. But it's something I'll do more of, as I.
What is the Guzzlers?
The Guzzlers.
Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah. The Guzzlers is a roots rock and roll band that I was part of for 8 years. I was the front man. I did all the singing. I carried all the heavy stuff and did the singing. And we just had a fabulous time. It was a 4-piece band, and we practiced every week and gigged every, 2 or 3 times a month, and it was just like the highlight of my life for 8 years. Yeah. Loved it.
Do you write music?
Don't write music. I could, but I don't. I choose not to.
Now, that was kind of a vague question, because write music, does that mean lyrics or actual music?
No, I would just do the
Notes.
lyrics, yeah.
Okay.
And maybe, get the bass, the melody, but
Do you read music at all? I mean, do you
I
play an
can.
instrument, or is it all
I used to
vocal?
play. I used to play instruments, you know, in high school, trombone and trumpet and things like that. But now it's all
This is
just the
your-
voice is my
Okay.
instrument now.
Okay, so you are a trained voice actor.
Yes.
Now, what is that training? Because we have acting schools, but what is the training for a voice actor?
It's in a lot of ways. There's a bunch of similarities, but with voice acting, you're never on camera, so you don't have to worry about, you know, like, oh, is my hair right? Or it's learning how to be what the customer needs you to be, and it can be anything. Some mornings I'm a game show voice, you know, I'm the voice of Hex, the war chief for Warriors of the New Earth or something like that.
The old Earth.
Yeah, and it's like, I will do anything to protect my people. So I'll do an accented character voice in the morning, and then in the afternoon I do a piece where it's like the connective guy next door. That's what people want to hear a lot. The business used to be like, come down Sunday and we'll take care of you, you know, because we're the best there is. But with the internet and everybody plugged in, everybody knows what they want, and they know how much it costs, and they know where they can get it. So voice acting and the selling of products and things is more like, instead of come down Sunday, now it's like, hey, we got a really good deal Sunday. Come buy steaks. It's only $5.99 a pound. I'm going to get some. You should too. You know, so it's real connective guy next door kind of stuff.
Yeah, neat. So this is how it's changed over the last 10 to 15
Yeah,
years?
yeah.
Where do you see it moving?
I think that trend is going to stay like that probably for a good while. The thing that's changing is that back 20 years ago, there was 20 people who did all the voiceover work in the country. And then when the internet and everybody now you can get a home studio put together for a couple $1,000s. And there's a lot more competition. There's a lot of people that think they're voice talents. And there's a lot of really good ones, but there's a lot that are just sort of muddying the water for some of us. But
Do you remember the Seinfeld episode with the movie theater voiceover guy? And I think, was it Kramer who was pretending to be it?
oh, the only one I remember is Kramer doing the. No, I won't say what he does.
So you said your studios, you can put them in for a relatively inexpensive cost, a home studio. Where is your studio? Where do you?
It's in my house. It's a bedroom that's not used anymore, so I treated it, and I have it's acoustically sound, and it's a really good sound space, and I've mastered the software I use for editing, and it's just a great spot if the dogs don't bark.
Oh, so that adds a whole other. Life happens though when you work at home. So how do you control that?
Well, if I'm doing a spot, then they go in the crate, and then they don't bark when they're in the crate. But if I'm in the middle of a piece and they see a squirrel and it's like, "Roar, roar, 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 roar," it's like it comes right up and into the microphone. And even if I can't hear it, my microphone will hear it, and I'll be editing later with my headset on, and it's like, oh, and then I'll have to redo it. So I try to make sure that dogs are not going to be barking.
So soundproof really isn't soundproof.
Well, it can be. It's just I have a sound treated room. I don't have there's whisper rooms, and there's companies that make booths that are far more soundproof, but that's not my studio. You just need a good room floor where it's quiet, you know. And
Now, what type of dog is it? Or dogs?
Spanish water dogs.
Now, do they actually like water?
Oh, they love it. Yeah, we have a pool, and one of them will dive and swim 8 feet to the bottom and get a ball. She looks like a teeny little like polar bear. It's really funny. I have some great videos of that.
I always laugh at hunting dogs and water dogs that either don't hunt or don't get into the
Yeah,
water.
no, they're
like,
yeah,
no,
they're
I'm an
crazy,
inside dog.
crazy for
yeah.
the water.
Okay, so if you have your studio at home and you travel, do you work while you travel, or how does
Yeah, I have a setup that I take when, like, if I go to the beach, or even if I'm away on any kind of a work trip, I can audition and do jobs with it's not as good as my home studio, but I have a good microphone and a good treated way to produce the audio. So, or what I've done in the past too is you build a little fort in the motel room. You take the ironing board.
You're still 7, aren't you?
You take the ironing board and the pillows, and you strip all the linens and stuff off the beds, and you build this awesome little fort on the desk, and you're inside your little studio. It works really well.
Okay, I love it. I was just thinking, for me, it would be more of a castle and a dollhouse, but
yeah, I actually one of the websites that I work for had a contest. It said, send us pictures of your traveling stuff. What do you do when you're traveling? And I took a picture of the one at the Marriott in Pittsburgh, and I got 3rd place. I won a really nice little piece of audio equipment.
Nice.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is a day like in a voice actor's world? Do you adhere to a schedule? Because when you're self-employed, sometimes it's easy to let a day get away from you if you're not physically leaving the house and going to an office. So how do you make sure that you stay on, and what do your days look like?
That is a brilliant question, because in the freelance voiceover world, the people that make it are the ones that treat it like a business. It's truly about, you'll have friends and someone will say, oh, you've got the best voice, you should be a voiceover guy. And the person might have a voice that's, yes, I talk like this all the time. But it's 20% your voice and acting. You have to be able to be a good actor, and you have to have a good voice. 80% is business, and it's connections and marketing and working your tail off. I work very hard. But if I have a day where I do landscaping around the house or around the pool or go for a walk or whatever, my work day can start at 4 in the afternoon and go till 3 in the morning. So
that's true. For people who have voice, for instance, okay, I play softball. I'm not really good at it, but I like to coach first and third base. But it entails me sometimes to yell across the field. I am not a yeller. I'm pretty soft-spoken. I'll laugh loudly, but I'm kind of soft-spoken. So how do I learn to put my voice out there and not sound shrill?
You mean when you're hollering, or if you were a voice artist?
Well,
You're talking about being a first base coach? How do you?
Well, any time that I actually have to raise my voice and yell.
Do you want to give me an example right now? No.
Yeah. If you want to hear shrill. How do I not sound shrill?
Go ahead.
Because it's not in my personality to be shrill, and I'm always shocked when this voice, and maybe I'm just not used to hearing myself yell, but how do you control that?
Everybody sounds different, and some people sound stupid when they yell.
Okay,
I don't think it's a problem, but you just would have to practice using a different yell voice. Like if you scream and it's like, ah, you'd have to, that's better.
Okay. So it really is just.
There's a lot worse things in life than how you sound yelling from first base. So.
You think.
I can help you with that. I'll come to a game and I'll coach you.
Okay, yeah, we've got one more. So, so your day really just starts whenever. Do you have set schedules for really when you want to record things? For instance, is your voice better at certain times? And I know you said you can start working at 4, but is your early morning voice better, or do you need time to wake up? And
that's a great question too, because your voice is different in the morning than it is in the afternoon. And if I audition in the afternoon and I book a job, and then if I want to record it first thing in the morning, I have to do a lot of warm up. I have to, sometimes I'll sing in the shower, or I just won't. I'll make sure I've talked for an hour just before I do it, because it will be different. And when you get a job from an audition, you have to be able to reproduce that with your mic settings and how far you were from the mic, and make sure your mouth isn't going blah, 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 so it's.
How much water do you drink a day?
Gallons.
Yeah.
Yes, every day. I start in the morning with about a quart, as soon as I wake up. But I have to drink all day long. So.
Pollen and things bother your voice?
No, no, but no. I used to have pollen problems in the fall and stuff, but I don't anymore.
Maybe that was landscaping, because you're outside so much.
Yeah, you think? Well, I was a manager, so it's like on hot days, you roll the window down. Yeah, it's a little bit more over there. Okay, go back.
That's when you sound shrill.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the trick when this happens? I think when we have to walk up to a podium. were quiet for so long because either other people are speaking, it's your time to get to the podium. How do you not have that stutter of the voice where the voice box isn't quite working yet and the first word out of your mouth sounds like a frog? And then how do you fix that?
If you're going to be in public speaking, I do MC work too, and you have to be engaged with like the backstage people or the management people, and you have to be talking and you're in the flow even before the event starts, so that when it starts, you just jump in and that's where you are. And it's being in the moment and emotionally connected with what you're doing and not being nervous and scared about it. Then it just sort of comes out naturally. Even when I'm doing a job, I do something called a pre-talk or a pre-roll. And if the part is like at the American Cancer, blah, 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 we want to do this and this and this, and you have to get into that mode, I'll pretend I'm talking to someone. I go, Larry, I want to talk to you about something, and it's really important, and I know it's going to be important to you, but did you know that the American Cancer, and then I'll roll right into it, and it sounds natural, and then I just edit out that stuff.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. Practice. You got to practice.
It sounds like all of life is practice.
Yeah.
So, MC, tell me about your MC jobs.
I had a big one in December. The company I worked for 31 years, they hired me to come do their big national convention awards dinner banquet thing, and that was just a big event at the the last night of the thing. So it was awesome. They flew me to Florida and put me up, and I got to hang with all my old friends. But it's a little bit like doing stand-up. You just sort of have to know what you're going to say and be comfortable with that.
Yeah. Are you ever asked to perform live editions?
Yeah. If I did my biggest job, I can't really talk about it yet because I have a do not share kind of thing. But
tell us about a different job then.
Okay, but I did a job yesterday for Prestone. I got hired to do a TV spot that's going to run regionally for Prestone Coolant.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, it's really fun. The casting guy from California, the girl that hired me, then we had a phone call, and I have to put my earbuds inside under my headset, and I'm recording, but I'm talking to them live. And you have to be able to do what they want. So he would say, he would give the line. He would say, "We're kind of looking for a dad, but a little bit of a boss, and I want you to sound like this." And then he would say the line, and then I would say it, and he goes, "A little bit flatter, a little bit meaner," and then I would say it again, and then I would do 3 or 4. So it's live while you're recording. So I do have some live auditioning that I have to do.
Okay, so when you say a little flatter, you must have a really good ear to hear things.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of being a voice actor is knowing how you sound. Like when I do an accent, or if I do an imitation, a character imitation, or a sound-alike, when I do it, I feel like I sound like that person in my head. When I hear it in my head,
you are that person?
Kind of. I mean, it sounds like them, and I can hear that. It's not always perfect, but I know I'm getting close. So.
Okay, so you do the different accents. What is the difference between the British and the Australian? It's very similar, but we always know where they came from. Oh
man, I just did a job. Well, I've done a couple of jobs, and I did one just recently. It's just sort of a muddled British accent, because most people, when they listen, if you're talking like this, it's British, and it's very subtle. Although if someone from the UK would go, "That wasn't very good," So when I haven't booked an Australian accent job yet, because anytime I'm doing Australian, it ends up bleeding into British, and they're close, but they're different, So
I find that their mouths, not to offend any of our Aussie friends, but their mouth moves a lot more. Their facial expressions are much more animated, where the British tend to be a little
more reserved. I can just think, "Crikey," Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, sometimes I get tired listening.
But that's something I want to master, so that I can go right into, when you want to sound like you're from Australia, or g'day, or that kind of stuff, and it doesn't start sounding like you're sitting in London.
So you did a LaCroix commercial.
Yeah.
Can you do that voice? Because it's a really good one. You can go to his website and hear it.
Yeah, check it out. You'll see it. But it was the first job I got my first year, my last year, and it was only I got paid to do 5 words, and it's about a 30-second spot, and it shows a pool and you know, people in bikinis and stuff, and in the end, a sort of unattractive, long-haired, heavy dude pops up out of the water and shakes his head in slow motion, and the really good-looking girl holding the LaCroix just turns her head mildly away, and I had to say, LaCroix sparkling water, mildly refreshing. Booked it.
It's amazing. Is it odd for you to hear yourself and not see yourself? When all of a sudden a spot could come on and you're just doing whatever your daily activities are, and all of a sudden you hear yourself. And
Yeah. It's funny because you remember, you know how people say, oh, I hate the sound of my own voice, if they hear themselves on a recording? That's how it used to be for me. But then when I became a full-time voice actor, I'm so used to it that it's just like, yep, that's me. And a lot of times people will say, you did that? That doesn't sound like you. Because it's not, I'm doing a commercial that it's not this.
Well, this isn't your voice anyway. Isn't it Smoky Lady?
No,
That's
no.
your voice.
Smoky Lady. No, that's one of my characters, but it's and she's just like she sounds like she's 80, but she's actually only like 40, and everybody says she sounds like a man.
Yes.
But she doesn't sound like a man, does she?
I don't think so. It's amazing you can do that.
But a lot of times people say, that's you? I say, yeah, it's me. Like the LaCroix spot. That's not how I talk. I don't go talking to people like, Pauline, it's great to see you today. You know, but for the spot, they wanted LaCroix sparkling water, mildly refreshing. And that's.
Did you entertain your children with this?
A little, yeah, I still do. I mean, my daughter's a writer. She's a freelance writer in Philadelphia, and she's always following the arts and everything. So when I get in a good mood, when I get into that mood, we'll talk on the phone, and I'll just have her crying, laughing.
That's wonderful. Have you thought about voice coaching people as another?
Wow, you got great questions. Yeah, I think after I'm like a really successful voice guy, that I will have a marketable coaching ability. I could do it now, but yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to help people be able to find their voice, because everybody has their voice, and how do they turn that into something marketable? Yeah.
Okay, well, you just coached me today. Practice.
Yeah, practice.
Find your voice for yelling across the field. Maybe I shouldn't be yelling. Maybe I should be using signs.
Yeah, just like you're mad at your 16-year-old.
Absolutely. So with all this voice, what is a branded voice, or what is your branded voice? How does that term work?
I am trying, as I meet people locally, is a branded voice. Like I'm the voice of a company where when they do a training video, I do the voiceover for that training spot. But also I do the message on hold voice. So when they call, it's like, thank you for calling Safeware, protecting the fearless since 1979. So that is, it's just like becoming part of that company. It's my voice, but I want to have it be like, I'm the voice of Home Depot. I'd love to be like a national a national thing like that. So.
Now, do you own that voice once it becomes branded, or it's?
No. Anytime you send a project out, they tell you this is like for a TV ad. They'll say this is a 2-year buyout for television, radio, and internet, and they own that. You know, they can use it however they want to.
Okay. So what's your dream?
You know, right, I'm living I hate to say that. That sounds so stupid. But I feel like I'm living my dream now. But to go to the next level, my dream will be voicing 2, 3, and 4 projects a day, or half of a long narration project a day, and to have people that I know anywhere in the country go, oh, I saw your Chevy spot. Oh, I saw your Mazda spot. It was awesome. You know, I want to be, I don't want to be famous, so I'm not going to be on camera, but I want my voice to be known, and I want to be really successful because of the voice and what I've built on my own. That's really what I wanted to do something on my own, not work for somebody else.
That is living the dream.
Yeah, so every day, that's what it feels like.
Good. Well, we're just about out of time today. Is there anything that you want to leave us with? Any fun voices or knowledge about your background,
well,
or how to get into the field?
Geez, I have so many voices in my head, and
There's medicine.
yeah, there's
I'm sorry,
medicine.
we have to probably cut that.
Yeah, but I don't know if you're going to be able to show that spot.
Oh, yeah, actually, we will cut that in.
Okay.
So, yes.
You've built your career and life in the heart of Calgary, but now you want a change of pace, where the rolling prairies meet the majestic Rockies. Drive out to Springbank to explore your new elevated lifestyle in Morgan's Rise. Your luxurious estate, Morgan's View, is owned by the Morgan's Rise developer. This custom-built home, from McKinley Masters, features countless high-end touches no other home has. From the exquisite stonework to the professional landscaping, no detail has been overlooked. Step through the mesquite wood door to the great room, an entertainer's dream. Your open concept main floor provides plenty of space for any gathering. The Tuscan-inspired gourmet kitchen will excite your inner chef. The high-end appliance package brings any recipe to life, and a butler's pantry leaves everything organized. You can easily transition to your patio to bask in the sunset or Rocky Mountain views, or relax around the fire pit with a glass of wine. When the day is done, retreat to your master bedroom oasis.
Find what makes you soar, and do that. It doesn't matter if it's making clay pots or coaching kids or whatever. Just find something that you truly love and connect with, and either do it for your livelihood or make sure you're doing it as a way to sharpen your saw, you know, to stay connected and refreshed.
Yes, I agree. Wake up every day and want to go to work.
Right.
Life is too short to live anywhere else, so it's good.
Every day, my thing is, whether it's 6 in the morning or 8 in the morning, I reach over, I grab my iPad, boom, and I look at my emails that come in, and I'll have like 25 emails, and I'm looking for the one that says, "You've been hired," or "Here's your deposit," or something. I say, that's a great day.
That is a great day when you say, "Here's your deposit." Well, thank you so much for joining
Oh,
us
thanks for
today.
having me. This was really good.
Yeah, wonderful. And good luck with everything.
Thanks.
And thank you for joining the Bowie Business Journal. See you next time.